All right, so we didn't really talk enough for me about LGBT kids. So what I want to know is, what's going on? We have 40%. 40% of the kids are LGBT.
20% of homeless youth are LGBT.
Exactly. So, what's going on?
When you say what's going on, exactly, we're involved in a partnership right now in which we're kind of working through all of that.
Yeah.
We at the center don't profess to have any expertise except in terms of service to these individuals and knowing the kinds of issues that they're dealing with. But we don't have any expertise in terms of how to care for them as homeless. And so we have instigated a MOU, a memorandum of agreement, in which we will be working together as agencies, putting our efforts together to take care of LGBTQ.
I'll quickly say that America's going through a lot of culture wars. It's going through religious wars, all kinds of other wars, and one of the culture wars that we're going through is the LGBTQ culture war, and it is plaguing youth. Youth are becoming the victims. So of narrow mindsets of bigotry and just inherited bias against LGBTQ, and it's a culture war now. This isn't just an issue that's happening in a handful of places. This is across the country. That this is a war. This is something these youth are becoming a victim of simply for coming out, simply for their identity expression, for their gender expression, whatever the case may be. And it's only growing and getting worse. And unfortunately, people are very ignorant around this issue and very ignorant around the whole circumstance, and they're tossing aside, they're abandoning, they're neglecting their kids, they're asking them to leave their houses, they're telling them that they're not normal, that they're not part of society because of that, and they're getting tossed aside. And imagine what that message is, to be brave enough to come out, and have to come out and go to the streets, have to come out and go to a place not meant for human habitation because of how you feel and how you identify with yourself. That is another atrocity on top of all the atrocities that we're dealing with youth homelessness.
Absolutely.
And so the first thing that you really would like to do is to house the children first, correct? Mm-hmm. And that's a little bit of an issue right now.
Absolutely, because of the lack of resources is to house them. We work with them in talking through a lot of the identity issues. But imagine that a lot of these youth, they feel strong in their identity. The drive to be genuine. The drive to be genuine compels them to come out to their families as early as age 13, and their families toss them in the streets.
So
that is a trust.
It is.
So one of the things that I talked to Michael about was housing early on. That was several months ago, and we talked a little bit about how difficult it is to house, say, a boy child who is gay is easier to house, I think, than a child who still has boy parts but identifies as girl.
Transgender.
Transgender youth.
So where are we with that?
I can quickly speak from my side to say that NPHY has always served LGBT youth and transgender youth, and we happen to have a great housing model where we have scattered sites, so we can have youth flexibly accommodated to where they want to be and how they identify and all that. But what we are missing is that is just a normal part of our program, because we have something called the No Hate Zone where everything and everyone's inclusive. And just like society, we all have to deal with different elements and different folks, but we realize that avoiding this unique circumstance of coming out and having to be on the streets because of that. And what we need to do is create housing that is very sensitive to that, and whether it's LGBTQ exclusive or centric, something needs to be designed with that in mind, because that is a significant subset of the issue, just like adults.